Hey guys, Carl Galler here from Carl Galler Builds. I am in the middle of my beach buggy build, as hopefully many of you know. I'm going to be fabricating and welding in some plates here. Doing the same here back here. These are for the roll bar. I've got my sheet metal. Wanted to show you some stuff for preparation so I don't burn down my car again. I got an official 4x6 fiberglass welding blanket. Yay. I put the moving blankets away. This steel is I mean, it looks like all of 16 if not 14 gauge steel. It's pretty thick stuff. So I actually looked for one of the old-fashioned I forgot what they call them, but it's a metal shear. And I looked this guy up. They actually had a cheaper one, but they're out of stock. This was about 65 bucks. It's set up to do 14 gauge. I read the reviews and I saw some of the videos on Facebook. So hopefully it does the job. I don't have to do too much with the cutting. I got to make these plates. So went to a yard sale. Got some good stuff. I got the vise, the bench grinder, this great workmate thingamajoogie, and all for 40 bucks. So you can't beat yard sales and Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. All right, so here's a fun fact. I used this sucker for all of 30 seconds and it broke. So I guess it's not getting a good review from me. What do you want for 60 bucks from Harbor Freight? All right, round two. We're gonna go old school, new school. Automated. So the funny thing is, well, I don't know if I've used this line before, but I'm an idiot. But I think this time it worked out okay. I'm like cutting and I'm like not paying attention to what is the workpiece and what is the offcut. I'm thinking, okay, that's the offcut and this is the workpiece. I think by the grace of God, I still got this right. Let's go take a look. Yeah, I got lucky. I'm gonna grind it down and clean her up. But yeah, so there you go. Sometimes even what do they say? Even a blind squirrel will come up with a nut every once in a while. That's pretty good and flat right there. Make another one for the other side and we'll get to start to catching shit on fire. I've got the plate set in there. I've got it all cleaned up around the edges. This fits in there real nice. This is probably going to catch fire back here because there's like foam in there. I'm also going to retack some of this plate, make it a little bit more stable. All right, so I'm playing with wire feed and power. And I mean, honestly, it looks like chicken shit, but it is adhering. Comes right up to this hump, but we'll keep going. It'll look like shit, but there'll be enough of it holding it down. Guys, I know I've said this probably 20 times during this particular video, but the reality of it is, it might be several weeks that I actually shoot these videos. So there's a lot of, hey guys, like it's the first time I've shown up today. But anyway, so I apologize for that. But anyway, so yesterday, and it actually was yesterday, I think, yeah, it was yesterday, I finished in the welding of these plates, which now has made it a very integral part of the structural framing, whatever, structure of the car. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 places where this, oddly enough, 4-point roll bar will be mounted. And you know, I did remove some structure that was here. Not a whole lot. It was the front structure to the I guess it was the B pillar, or the door pillar, the door jamb, and there was some triangulation here. So the hopes are that the re-triangulation of this 1 7/8" roll bar will kind of add some integrity to this area to keep it from tacoing. But the reality of it is, the car wouldn't taco here. There's just so much structure here. It would taco here. And I have cut nothing out of the structure here. These doors offer no structure at all. You know, they add certainly side impact protection, but nothing of the structure of the vehicle. So, you know, as I'm sure if anybody who knows how cars are built, they know that a standard sedan is built completely differently. Although it might look just like the convertible option, it has a whole lot more structure to it because of flexing both this way and this way. And so when you hear about cars tacoing, they take a hard top car, they remove the top structure, which is integral to the actual structure of the entire unit, because they don't have the reinforced base. And guys just chop that and they don't do any structure, and then over a period of time it can start to bow in the middle because the floor pan is just not designed to take the full weight of the car. This car, the floor pan, say that quick 10 times, is designed specifically to take the weight of the car and the passengers without a roof. So that's a quick lesson to you people who are saying, oh, you've taken all the structure out of that car, structure. And I call BS. Now, I have taken some structure out of the car. And once again, I'm not sure I would want to drive this to, you know, from Florida to Maine, but driving it down the Beach Boulevard, Golf Boulevard, bar hopping here or there, and to an occasional car show, I'm totally fine with. So speaking of the roll bar, there is our roll bar. It was built by Applied Racing Technology. It's 1 7/8". I think it's 1 7/8". I'll measure it and tell you for sure, but it's at least 1 3/4", and it's pretty thick stuff. And I specifically had this made for my car. I provided all the dimensions. You can see a couple areas where I've had to erase and draw back in, because they require at least 14 inches of straight between any bend. And so my original drawing had more of a sharp angle here. I actually like the way it looks with this more swept angle. And then I have all my dimensions here. So they give me a whole bunch of extra, in this hoop that they built, a whole lot of extra meat down here. So we're going to be cutting off at least 6-8 inches off the bottom to get our angle. All right, this hoop is supposed to be 33 inches. So something told me to not necessarily trust the length of these bottom cuts, because I think they do all of their dimensions from the top down. And I'm thinking that I'm going to cut from the bottom up to do my dimensions. Well, I decided to put this hoop up against the wall, a nice flat wall, because it's tough for me to kind of measure intangible measurements here. But if I can go straight up to the wall, this is supposed to be 33 inches, and it turns out to be 33 1/4. So I'm going to have to remark this. This one is a little closer, so it just goes to show you the hoop, the legs at the bottom. This one is almost bang on 33. I'm going to clean that up a bit. But it just, so if I had cut it from the bottom up, I would have been about 1/4 inch off. You probably would not have picked it up, but I'd rather have it right. So that's a top tip. This is my first roll bar, so I guess I'm glad I thought of that. And just to make sure that everything is square and I'm getting all good dimensions, I'm using this drywall T-square. I'm going to do my initial cut on that 16.5, which is going to be actually 34 inches. And I'm just going to do that because I don't have a chop saw, and I'm going to do my initial cuts, kind of a practice cut, with and try to determine the angle. I'll be able to go back and forth a little bit. I'll find my angle, and by the time I finish, you know, kind of trimming, hopefully I'll be at the nominal 33 inches. The height is not super duper critical. I'd like it to be square, and I'd like it to be within about 1/4 of an inch of what I initially worked out with my PVC mock-up. Do the same to the other side, and we will test fit. Yeah, that looks awesome. Down another inch. It will be perfect. Welding in the hoop. Self-sustaining roll bardage. Hey guys, back again. Another day, another weld, another grind. Managed to weld in the main hoop. Not too horrific. I've gotten really good at grinding. Not so good at welding, but I am getting penetration. So yeah, the welds are in there. I mean, it's not, the sucker's not going anywhere. So next step is to triangulate. I got these pads welded in the back. And remember, guys, I removed a little bit of structure here, which is really structure between this, I'm going to call it a body mount, but this hump, which runs across the length of the car, or the width of the car. And there was a bit of structure that came from here to here. So the car's not going to taco right here. There's just too much structure here. So that was more, I think, about side impact for the rear area, since the fenders are plastic. But anyway, when I triangulate from here to here, it's going to be adding at least as much structure as we had from this piece over here. So the next step is to figure out my angles from here down to that pad. So the best deal out there so far that I have found is this hoop from Applied Racing Technology. I don't know if I'm doing a one-hander here. This hoop bent to my specifications. It came with metal for a harness bar to go across and 2 pieces for these angles. And the cool thing about it, this is the harness bar, which I'm actually going to chop. I'm not going to use the harness bar. They give a, I guess they call that a fish mouth or a bird beak or something like that. I'm going to have to taper this because I'm going to be on an angle, but they give you a start. And these are the 2 pieces they use for the 4-point. I mean, way overkill. I need 33 inches, but they both have the bird mouth on one side. So these 2 poles, that pole, and the hoop was $139.95 or something like that, $140. I mean, I can't buy the material for that. And this is super thick wall tubing. I mean, that's at least, this is a part without the burr right here. That's at least a 1/16 of a good maybe 3/32 of an inch. But anyway, very solid, mild steel. So I've measured the initial cut. I'm going to cut, pardon me, 33 inches to here, and then I'm going to just start finessing it in for fitment, and then I'll have to do it all over again. So wish me luck. First things first. Challenge will be to just work on angles. Okay, so that fish mouth, I've got to take off more on this side since it's going to be on an angle. I will start with a rough grinder and work down to a die grinder. So this doesn't look too shabby. It's getting there. I'm gonna get the length right on this thing. I'm gonna lift it up because I want this thing up about in the middle of this pad. So I'm gonna grind a little bit more here, but you know, you kind of have to do a little bit at a time, This is where initially I was shooting for. If I can get it all to fit a little higher, I kind of like the triangulation. I like the way it looks. The passenger's vision may be blocked a little bit, but I don't anticipate having many passengers in this little thing. So anyway, we'll keep at it. Well, they say if you're not a good welder, you better be a good grinder. So this joint is pretty tight. You know, these little voids here are between, I guess, welds, but there's a lot of penetration. That valley goes in pretty deep. I've got enough on there to get a nice little fillet in a radius. It's not going anywhere. I don't want to show you this because I can't get a grinder back there. It's all going to be hidden. But I'll show it to you nevertheless. So this didn't look quite that bad because I had trouble getting the electrode in there. But she's coming along. Now I need to do the same thing on that side. So got this one welded in and ground pretty good. I think I showed you that already. Back is going to be hidden, so I'm not worried about grinding it so much. But the trick is to get the other one, you know, the first one you can kind of put wherever it works out. The second one you have to line it up exactly, you know, I put a level across here, did the measurements here so it lands in the same space. Then you got to grind it so those gaps are not too big and you can fill it with a weld. I think I managed to do okay with that. So, and get the angle here. This is a compound angle here. So it's a little fiddly, as they say in England. But if we line up, I'm trying to see if I can get the same viewpoint that I'm seeing right here, but you can see that they are dead balls on level, like Marissa Tomei has said in My Cousin Vinny. Balls on accurate. That's a good thing. All right, I'm going to tack this thing up and then commence to weld. Outtake. Oh. I don't know about you guys, but I am pretty tickled with this roll bar. I mean, I can't even reach it, but yeah, it offers some protection. This piece of PVC is approximating the surfboard that I'm gonna get, a longboard. So I guess this is the hardest part of the project. I mean, the filling this body cavity is gonna be a challenge, cutting this off here. But I'm tickled pink. I mean, this was a huge hurdle, and I'm all but finished. I mean, the welds are ground. It's really solid. I can't even reach it, but it's solid as a rock. It's not going anywhere. It added the integrity back into that area that I removed. Triangulated. Let's see if it actually starts. Oh, I had the battery disconnected. Each time you have to turn off the alarm. Let's see if she starts up. I haven't burnt any wires or disconnected anything. I wish I could take it for a ride, but I want to finish this stuff up before I do that. So the longest ride I can do right now is into the garage. All right, guys. So I guess hopefully I'm in frame. Might as well do the beach buggy behind me. All right. So I think that is an episode. Episode 12. I didn't burn anything down this time. I did quite a bit of welding. Got my roll bar on. Really tickled. Hopefully I'll be able to at least get this thing on the road. You know, certainly by summer. Love to take it to some car shows and stuff like that. Anyway, hope you guys are enjoying it. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe and share and like and all that good stuff. And I'm bushed, as you can probably tell, but I've been welding and grinding for a good about 6 hours today. So anyway, that's it. Carl Galler from Carl Galler Builds, Beach Buggy Build, and I am out.